Hey guys, what's up? It's Dean with Manipul Yoga, and today I want to talk about the benefits of standing. So, you've probably heard the phrase, sitting is the new smoking, and to some degree that is true. It's not the same as inhaling smoke and putting toxic chemicals in your body, but it is pretty bad for you. So, sitting for 8 hours a day is not good for your body at all, and research tells us that even 30 minutes, an hour, or 2 hours of exercise per day cannot reverse the effects of sitting for 8 hours. So sitting at a chair, sitting at your desk, doing typical office work where you're sitting like this and rounding forward. There's a few reasons why it's so bad. So when you're in a seated position, here's what's happening with your body. You're not using your core at all, which means that it's kind of just those muscles are turning to mush. They're not being used 8 to 12 hours a day, so then when you go to work out and use your core, your muscles don't know what to do because they're just not used to being used at all. In addition to that, you're also tightening your hip flexors, so they're at their shortest point when you're in the seated position, which means that your hip flexors aren't used to getting longer. So anytime you do a lunge, anytime you do a back bend with a lunge, it's very hard for your body to do because it's used to being in this very shortened position with your hip flexors. This all contributes, both of these things contribute to pain in your lower back because when you're not using your core muscles, your lower back muscles pick it up, and that usually manifests as pain in your lower back. Secondly, when your hip flexors are tight, they also pull on your lower back because your hip flexors are attached to your spine. So when those muscles are tight, they pull, and that causes that discomfort and pain in your lower back. There are plenty more reasons not to sit, but I'll end it there, and I want to give you some solutions to do. So the first solution is to just stand up. Get off your feet and stand. If you can get a standing desk, it would be a very, very, very smart investment in yourself, in your body. I recognize that some people will be working at an office and that it's not so easy to just purchase a standing desk and move it in there. But I know that a lot of progressive companies, a lot of big corporations now are starting to implement standing desks. So if you can get a standing desk, if you work from home or you control your office environment, you have absolutely no excuse not to getting a standing desk. This particular one I got about a month ago, and I'm extremely happy with it. I don't feel lower back pain anymore throughout the day because I'm standing all the time, and I also feel a lot more awake. I have more energy, and when I go to sleep at night, I know that it's time to go to sleep because I've been standing up all day. This particular brand is called a Luxor brand. I'll include the link in the description below. It's one of the few standing desks that I found for less than $200, and it's including with free shipping on Amazon right now, so I would check that out. Also, you want to make sure that you get an anti-fatigue mat. So I thought that I'd be okay because I stand up a lot, but turns out that I wasn't ready for it, and now the bottom of my feet are pretty sore, and that's been constant for about the last week. Could also be compounded by the fact that I took an African dance class with lots of that. So anti-fatigue mat, I've also included, this one is called the Cumulus anti-fatigue mat. This is just my personal recommendation, the one that I use. I know it works, so I'll include the link for that as well. And finally, if you can't get a standing desk, you can still stand up every now and then. I'm going to show you a few exercises right now that you can use while you're standing up. So, the first, we're going to get a little bit creative, is just standing up, but integrating this with a block. So, place the block between your thighs, and you can kind of see the block sticking out in front of you right now. And then internally rotate your thighs so the block starts to push to the back. Then scoop your butt under your torso and squeeze your core tight. Stand up tall. So here, my thighs are working, my lower back is releasing, it's stretching, and my core is engaged, which is exactly everything that I want to do when I'm exercising. So, this is one thing you can do, and you can do this for 30 minutes or an hour if you'd like. Moving from here, we're just going to turn sideways and do a little twist. So I'm facing out to the side, and then I'm going to turn back to my workstation, keep my hips and my core facing straight out sideways, and I'm just going to stand for a few minutes here, just working on twisting my body and holding this position, making sure that I'm using my core to twist. And then of course, you'll turn the opposite direction, and then face here as well, just so you stay balanced. Apart from that, you've also got a few other things you want to do. So when you're sitting or when you're standing, you are not lunging and you're not back bending. So we're going to do those. So the first is just arms up, reach back. You can also keep that block between your legs to make sure that you're protecting your lower back and using your core. We also want to do a squat, because even if you're sitting, you're not doing an active squat using your glutes. So we're going to squat, use the glutes, keep our bodies upright, maybe bring the elbows inside the knees. If you can adjust your workstation, you can even sit into a squat. So maybe put 1 or 2 blocks below your butt and ease down on top of it, and then you can just sit here. Just make sure that you're sitting up really tall, and then you can push back up, and we're back to standing. Apart from that, we're also going to do, let me see my list, also going to do standing bow, just the start of it. So just balancing on one foot and grabbing the back of your foot, relaxing your shoulder, and you can just stand here like this. And this is great because I don't have to, I can still work from this position. I can still look forward, I can still read an email, I can watch a video, I can do anything really from this position. And then of course we'll switch sides and get the other side. And you can even bring your arm up if you want to get your chest open and work on lifting your arms overhead. Also, here's a really great neck stretch. Slip one hand to the opposite hip, palm facing sideways. Press your other hand into that palm and then lean away. So if my right hand is on my left hip, I'm going to lean toward the left, my ear toward my shoulder. And this is just getting a really nice stretch in my chest and neck, which I don't do too often when I'm sitting or even when I'm standing. And then you can even do this with a twist, right? So I'm looking out to the side and looking over. And then I'll switch sides, pressing my palms together, hand to opposite hip, and leaning my right ear now toward my right shoulder, stretching my left side. All right. Also, you want to do a lunge. So at some point, I would do a warrior 1, maybe a shallow warrior 1, back foot facing up 45 degrees, and just lifting up and back bending here. So making sure that you're getting that hip flexor lengthening, so you're stretching your hip flexor, instead of when you're at a neutral position, when you're just standing, or when you're sitting, when it's at a shortened position. Apart from that, there's tons of other things you can do. There's an infinite amount of possibilities, but those few exercises that I just showed you are going to be really helpful for countering standing at work. So, the links for these 2 products are in your description. If you're interested in a desk and you need one, this is the one that I use, and it's firm. I can work on it. The screen doesn't shake. The keyboard stays still. It's stable. Also built it myself, so there's that added factor that the fact that I'm not a great mechanic or IKEA expert and built it myself, so you can do it too, is my point. And that anti-fatigue mat is also really a good idea if you're not used to standing up on your feet. Apart from that, that's all I got. So you have those few exercises to work on. If you don't have a standing desk, you can do those every few minutes, or every 30 minutes, maybe every hour. Every 30 minutes, every hour would probably be more practical than every few minutes. Maybe setting an alarm on your phone with some of those exercises, or maybe building an app that does that. Actually, I'm kind of going to do that soon, but just an idea at this point. Anyways, so those are my suggestions for standing up. Remember that you should be standing up as much as possible. Try not to sit down. And then again, it's really nice because your body's working the way it's supposed to when you're standing up. Your muscles are remembering what they need to do. And also at the end of the day, you're going to sleep better. And during the day, you'll have more energy. So that was a long explanation to why you should be standing and what you can be doing while you're standing. But I hope you learned something. Hope you subscribe to this YouTube channel, and hope you share this link with your friends, especially those who are sitting at a desk all day, so they can also enjoy the benefits of standing up. Make sure you like me on Facebook, and if you're looking to get started with yoga, I have a Yoga Basics for Men Starters package available on Gumroad.com. I'll include that link in the description below. And if you need yoga shorts, my favorite brand of yoga shorts are Aero Sport. They are a company with a socialist-based mission. A portion of every dollar goes to fund an orphanage in Baja California, the hometown of the designer in Mexico. So that was a very long video. I hope you watched at least some of it. I'll talk to you guys later. Getting back to work now.